following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, why every man never thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC. Always love the clothes of Jimmy, British punk, yo, wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity. We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. And we are back after a terrible week. Last week we missed. We're sorry, but we're so happy that we rescheduled all our guests, but we were sick. You want to talk about it?
Sick could be. Now, for me to miss a show, I have never. I'm on, 11 years? In 11 years, I have never missed a show, nor has Jimmy. So for us to miss a show, we had to be dead. I woke up and I said, Jim, you're going to have to do this show alone. I can't make it. I am so nauseous, so sick, so dizzy, so weak, so everything. And he turned to me and he said, I feel the same. And he was sick. So we had to put on a rerun, which we don't like doing. As for our condition, okay. I was admitted into the hospital in emergency, and they began doing all kinds of tests on me. And when they finished doing all their tests a day later, they said to me, go home. There's nothing wrong with you. I said, what? There's nothing wrong with me. Are you out of your mind? I said, what, are you crazy? I'm nothing wrong with me. I was sicker than I've ever been in my life. Well, we don't know what it is. That's better that you don't know what it is, not telling me that I'm not sick. I left the hospital, and Jimmy had left prior to me, as he said, to take care of the dogs.
Oh, I didn't tell them that. I told Juan that. Yeah, so we were both in the hospital, but one of us had to take care of the dogs, and since he was sicker than I was, I left the hospital at 11 o'clock at night and came home and took care of the dogs, and then went back and got him the next day. I wasn't
sicker than you were. What was my age. They saw 84 years old. They figured this old fucker's going to die any minute, so let's put him in, somewhere, which is nonsense because I'm a hell of a lot healthier than Jimmy is in many ways. So age is just a number, and they better get over this bullshit about age. Being in your 80s, you're not good anymore. That's nonsense, total nonsense. I'm going to work next week on a movie that is very physical. I have to run around and kill clowns.
Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell, everybody. Ron starts shooting on Tuesday.
And I have to jump around and run upstairs and go in and out of rooms. So it's a very physical part. It's a part for a much younger person than I, but I will do it. So anyway, the hospital was a nightmare. The doctors are all traveling doctors in the emergency room. I don't feel the doctors were really great doctors at all. To say that Jimmy and I both were not sick and that they couldn't find anything. They checked our blood, our urine, our stool, everything, and found nothing. Now we find out, me via Facebook, I find out that so many people, pardon me, have the same condition. They're dizzy, they're weak, they're sick, diarrhea, vomiting, and nobody knows why. Is it a new flu? Have the Chinese or whoever sent out something new for us to enjoy? Or is it COVID-2 or 3 or nobody knows what it is?
Don't mention that word.
Huh?
Don't use the word.
I can't use the word.
Don't use that word.
That's ridiculous.
I know, but anyway.
It's in the English language, and I believe in freedom of speech.
I know, but they shut you down, so don't use it.
The communists?
Yeah,
shut us
YouTube
down?
shuts you down. Every time we say it, Juan sends me a thing, and I read about it. Everybody gets shut down for using it. So
For using
we don't
that
know if it's a
word.
new. We don't know
Tell
if it's
me
a new
the
version.
communists are not running our country. Please, we're such a communist country. Now freedom of speech is gone. Anyway, we're better. We're here, and we're going to have a great show for you. And I'm sorry for our guests that were inconvenienced last week, but it wasn't like we broke a fingernail. It was a major.
I know, absolutely not.
It was a major thing.
We don't know what it is, and that's my third time having it. So I've had it 3 times.
And I thought I was going to die because I was in the shower and I thought I had a stroke because I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. Suddenly, everything got crazy. And I began to yell out for Jimmy, and Jimmy came and got me. And then I went to bed and felt better after I slept a bit. So whatever it is, it affects your brain, your spinal cord, your neck. The back of my neck was hurting. It was awful. I never want to go through that again.
Absolutely not me either.
Okay, so where are we?
So here's where we are. First of all, let's say hi to our chat room. People are
Chat
starting to show up.
room,
Hey, B.
hello.
Claudia, thanks so much for the graphics. B. Claudia is in the chat room. Cindy Lady Lake, thank you. Dawn Hinton is in the chat room. She said, "Is it a new watch?" But I told her, "No, it's not. It's a white one, though. It's a white
this is
49."
a 49. It's an old one, and I wear it quite a lot. When you're wearing like this much white, you wear a white wristwatch. You don't bring in a gray. So.
And then, so what we did, you guys, since we had to cancel last week's show, and we have some really great guests for you. Our guests are coming on this week. I was fortunate that they were available. So we have Isabella and Elizabeth Blake Thomas coming on, mother and daughter Hollywood power duo. And then we have actress, writer, and producer Charlotte Kirk coming on. She had a big premiere last night in LA for her new movie that comes out Friday. And
What is the movie?
It's called Duchess.
Okay.
It's got a great cast. We're going to show a trailer for it when she comes on and talk to her about it. She's worked with some really cool people. And then next week we will have a show, but in between on Tuesday, Ron's shooting in LA for Clown Motel 3, and Thursday and Friday we're going to Nevada to shoot at the Clown Motel. I am so excited about going to the Clown Motel. I can't
And
wait.
I think next week's show should be Jimmy filming Clown Motel 3. I think you people would find that interesting, that Jimmy can interview a lot of the actors and what we're doing as we're working. I think that would make for a very interesting show, don't you think?
We might
so?
be able to get clips, but we can't film them actually shooting because we're not allowed to show any of that. We can show them behind the scenes sitting around, but we can't show them shooting.
Yeah.
We can. I'll get some interviews with people that we can play during the next week after that. It should be a lot of fun. I just can't wait to go to Clown Motel because I like that kind of stuff. And,
I'm not thrilled about sleeping over in that dump. I bet you it's got bed bugs, cockroaches, snakes, and everything. It's in the middle of the desert in Nevada. It's some broken down, crappy motel that must have been a trick pad for the truck drivers, Ugh.
Lady Lake also is saying that both her and her son had whatever it is that's going
Who said
around.
that?
Lady Lake, and she's in Florida, which means it's going around.
It's all over. Up and down the eastern seaboard, they said it was due to bad ham from
Listeria. We were thinking it might be listeria.
Listeria. It definitely was listeria. And they don't know about it because the doctors here, I said, have you ever had any listeria cases? He said, no. He didn't know what listeria was.
Yeah, but we actually were in New York eating boar's head and plums. I said you get it from eating plums and boar's head. And I eat up until last week, I was eating like 3 plums a day.
What happened was, I was very disappointed in the diners in New York. I brag all the time about how wonderful New York diners are. That was years ago when I lived there 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now the diners are horrible. The food is disgusting. It was just not the same. So Jimmy and I kept we went to a Chinese restaurant that we thought was supposed to be wonderful, and it was not. Our restaurant here in Palm Desert's better. And we just kept hitting on bad places to eat. So I said one day, you know what? I'm going to make us sandwiches because we were driving about 6 hours up to Lake Geneva to visit galley chef Kim and her husband Stephen for the day. And I made us sandwiches, and I bought boar's head ham, and I made it with ham and lettuce and, white bread. It was nice. but we didn't realize that we were eating the
That's
cereal.
So anyway, you guys, we want everybody to please listen to the show on Red Circle. You see me on Twitter. I've been putting it out all over the place to listen to the show on Red Circle, but you can also hear the Jimmy Star Show on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime. We're also live on YouTube, and then the show goes on our YouTube channel. We thank everybody for tuning in every week. We appreciate it, and we're sorry we weren't here last week, but that's the way it goes. And we have lots of great, exciting things we're working on.
The show's been on the air, what, 16 years?
17.
17 years. So Jimmy missed it once in 17 years.
No, we missed it a few times. Don't say that, but
Not after the illness.
we missed it that day I was sick with the first time I got the same thing. We missed it.
We didn't have a show then?
Yeah, we didn't have a show because I couldn't even lift my head.
Oh, I could have gone on without you.
Oh, well.
I could carry this show easily.
Anyway, we have missed a few, and we missed some for sickness, though not many. When you had a few things done, we missed a few shows, and when I had my knee done, we missed a show. But that's it. So maybe we've missed 8 shows in 17 years. So
And all for medical reasons.
and all for medical. So it was a big deal. But you guys, we really do have a good show today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, let's go. Let's get started.
We're going to bring in half of our first guest. So Juan, let's go ahead and bring in Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Oh, they're both together. Hey.
Surprise!
Oh, wait a minute. This is mother and daughter?
Yeah, this is mother and
No,
daughter.
this is sister and sister.
No, mother and
They do not look like mother and mothers don't look like mothers anymore. In my day, a mother looked like a mother. Today, mothers look like sisters. You girls look almost the
I
same.
agree.
It's
I will
amazing.
take it and say thank you. You keep coming with all of those compliments for the next hour. That's all I need to listen to.
Oh my God, and I love the accent. Wait. So you're Elizabeth, right? Because I know Isabella's the daughter, so Elizabeth is the mom. So Isabella, say something. Let's hear your accent.
I have the same accent that my wonderful mummy has.
Oh my God, I love it. It's so exciting.
Can you girls up your volume?
I don't know. Did you guys
Yes,
have fun
yes, we
talking today?
can.
Let's have a
I
look.
don't know for us to speak to them.
Oh, how do I do that?
We have to be
have to be louder.
No, be up
Sorry.
louder. Do you have your volume up all the way? One is
Yes,
anything
yes.
you do? Okay.
I'll speak louder.
We can project.
We can. We're from
Okay.
the stage. We're theatre.
I keep telling Jimmy that all the time. Jimmy mumbles. He goes, I said, God, learn to speak correctly. Enunciate. There are commas in a sentence. There are periods in a sentence. Use them and project your voice like I'm doing now.
So let's introduce them for everyone. All right, you guys.
Mumbles.
I don't mumble. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me. Everybody hears me.
We-
I'm on the phone all day. Everybody hears me. All
Mumble.
right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Actresses, well, one actress, writers, producers, directors, mother and daughter, power Hollywood duo, Isabella and Elizabeth Blake Thomas. Hello and welcome to the show. Yay!
Yay!
Cool, outrageous man about town co-host Ron Russell.
Yes. And first question is.
No, wait, we're not done. I'm not done with the intro. We have a chat room of people filling up, so can you just say hi to everybody in the chat room?
Hello. Thank you for coming
Interrupted.
to watch us talk for a little bit.
Exactly. Thank
First,
you.
first question that everyone wants to know: where are you girls from?
We are from the middle of Texas. No, I'm just kidding. We are from London, England. As you can tell from our accents, we are not, in fact, American. We are
Right.
much more exotic.
Right. Marble Arches
Yes.
in London was the reason I never got lost in London. Because every time I got lost, I would say, could you direct me to Marble Arches? And when I got to Marble Arches, I knew where I would go. I went on your tube, your subway, and I don't know where the hell I wound up, someplace, I don't know where, in the country near a castle. It was wonderful. I have
But
a
you
lot
know
of,
what? You can't get that lost. On the tube, it stops. So worst case, you get to the end and you just get on and come back again.
that's what I did. But you know what? It's so much fun getting lost in London because you find so many interesting things that the tourists don't go to see. You see what the natives see. And I like that. I never go on tours with guides or anything. I walk the streets like an old hooker.
Do you hold your own flag then? So you're giving yourself a tour as you go around?
Oh, like a tour guide. Tour guides hold
Yeah.
flags.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
for the tour.
No. I just hold up a sign saying very cheap, rent by the hour.
So now where
I
are
like
you guys now? You're in LA now, right?
We are Valley girls now.
Okay.
Yes,
How long
yes.
have you guys lived here since? Did you move here? You moved here, obviously.
11 years ago, we lived in Hermosa Beach for a long time because when you move over here from England, you have to suddenly get a totally different vibe and live the Malibu Baywatch existence. So we lived in Hermosa, and then she moved up here first because I lived on a boat, and then I followed her, so she can't get rid of me.
She did. We had a pool going with me and my friends of how long it would take her to follow me.
There you go.
Okay, so you girls came here legally, right? You didn't jump the wall?
No, I'm not very good at jumping.
Okay. And
We
you
went
both-
through
you
the
both
very.
You both have green cards, right?
Yes, I was just about to say we went through
Now-
the
now-
very
wait.
long
Let her finish.
and tedious process of printing out about 700 pieces of paper that nobody looked at.
Love it.
Now, I know how difficult it is for you to become a citizen. Marcel Waltz, who is a director of wonderful films, friend of mine from Germany. He makes a fortune of money. He has no police record, nothing. He's a wonderful citizen. His husband, Dominic, flies for a German airline. He's a pilot, makes a lot of money. The both of them are probably the most respectable humans living in Hollywood, and they had a hell of a time getting a visa.
Yeah.
Yet they want to let everybody in for free. We don't know who they are or what they're doing, but the decent people have to wait online to get in. I find
Well,
that appalling.
basically,
Wait, I just want to apologize to my country. I apologize for America and their bad policy.
well, thank you for apologising, but I was going to say I basically put on that I was Julie Andrews and I was practically perfect in every way and I sang my way in.
Yeah.
But I will tell you one quick anecdote. So Sean, you obviously know my boyfriend, Sean McNamara. He did a film called, oh my gosh, Moon and the Sun, King's Daughter. It's renamed King's Daughter.
Great movie. Pierce Brosnan. It was great.
Absolutely. And the beginning voice, he wanted a storyteller. So he said, Elizabeth, I love your voice. Will you do it? And obviously I did it for free because that's what girlfriends do. And I did this beautifully. And then somebody heard it that had the money and said, well, we should just get Julie Andrews. So Julie Andrews got my job. And Sean didn't stand up for me.
Oh my God, that's first of all, I want to
But
tell
that's
you,
Hollywood.
I love Sean McNamara. Our show with him got over 4 million plays,
And I love Julie Andrews.
and
She's a very lovely, she's lovely. I've met her, and she's one of the most elegant, charming, sophisticated, one beautiful person. Julie hasn't got a mean bone in her body. She's a lovely lady.
so
Well,
let me.
imagine that room, Sean and Julie together, my two favourite people, my two favourite people together.
I love it. So here's what I want to do real quick. So first of all, the fact that both of you are directors, but I know that Isabella, because I went on your IMDb, you're an actress also, but you're a director. Now you're a director and a producer and a writer, and you guys have done a lot of films together with some really big name people. But I want to know first of all, Elizabeth, how long have you been directing?
I was a theatre director from the age of about 15, actually. I just told everyone what to do. And then I made my own theatre company. And then it was Sean's fault that I became a director over here 9 years ago because he said, you should be a director. And I said, how do I do that? And he said, you just say you're a director.
Oh my God! Wait, because you've done a lot of work in 9 years.
Yeah, but wait a
Yeah, it might be 8 years, actually. It might be 8 years. Yeah,
Let's
I
see what
didn't stop.
Let's see what kind of a director you are. I'm going to ask you a few questions. How many feet from the scene that's being shot are you?
How many what?
Feet, distance. What is
Here
the
now.
distance
Oh, when I'm actually filming.
Yes.
when you're directing someone? How distance are you from the scene?
Okay, well, I will tell you, when I first started, my DP said, you really need to move away from behind the cameraman's shoulder. And now I'm in my little black box quite a long way away, but I have it open so I can constantly be going backwards and forwards. I never sit.
But
You're
I
not
will.
my director. You will never be my director. Never.
But I was going to say
Because-
Let me finish.
I was going to say, you tend to be closer than you think you are because they often give you a handheld monitor and you follow.
Oh,
them
yes,
around.
yes, I do follow.
You rarely sit in your box. I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure.
I cannot.
They give her a box, but she never stays in it.
I cannot. I was in a movie where the director was in another room watching us on a television.
Literally, like about literally 50 yards away.
Oh, no, no.
I kept
They
looking for
try
the
and make
director.
her sit that far.
I kept looking for the director to see. I had a little bit of a problem because I couldn't hear too well. And it was a wedding scene, and it was a long banquet table. And the bridesmaid at the very end of the table was speaking, and I couldn't hear her. And I was waiting for the director to help me. And it was a dilemma.
He didn't know when his line was because he couldn't hear him.
So listen, I want your opinion. I had to override the director. I went over to the actress and I said, honey, I can't hear you from all the way over there. Do me a favor. Do this when you begin speaking. And she did that, and I was able to give my line. So you see, that's a bad director. When an actor has to improvise, the director sucks.
Absolutely, to be able to hear a line. No, I think the thing is as well, it depends whether you're doing studios or independents, but I'm always pretty close. But the thing is, with that black box, what it does is when I've got more crew and more cast, what I can do is put the headphones on and totally be immersed and see what's going on. But I am in and out all the time. I mean, when we just did Shadrach together on PureFlix, so Sean produced it, directed a few episodes, and I did as well. And that was lovely because you're actually literally in the next room. So I'm in the kitchen and they're in the dining room. So you're in that world, but you can see them. But I mean, I'm an actor's director from theatre. I couldn't be miles away unless it's dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
no,
we're going to actually play
but-
later on.
but-
Wait, we're going to play Shadrach, the trailer for it. So everybody sees
a
it.
director that sits in a chair on the set, he becomes a part of the scene because he's in the moment. He feels the vibes. He watches the facial expressions and the body language of the actors. And that's what makes a good director, because if he doesn't like what you're doing, he'll say, let's not do that. Let's do it this way. That's a director I would work with. And I think
Definitely. I don't know any directors that are that far away that they don't do that. I mean, maybe I've just been fortunate with you and what we've seen.
Or maybe he just did a really shitty indie movie.
No, it was not. It was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, but
We had our own trailers.
That's the problem. That's the
More
problem.
money,
More
more
money.
problems.
Yeah, they don't know.
It was a big budget. I was directed by Sidney Lumet. You know who Sidney Lumet is?
LeMay.
Lumet.
Yeah.
One of the greatest directors ever in the history of Hollywood. And he was on the spot with everything. I mean, he was directing Sophia Loren like you can't believe. She couldn't do 3 steps without him jumping up saying, swing, hips, more boobs, more hair. It was wonderful. Anyway.
I will tell you the same. If I was directing you, I'd say more hips, more boobs, more hair.
So I want to go to Isabella first of all, because you have a project. Don't mention the title yet. He's going to really love your directorial. I think that's your debut. Is that that's your directorial debut?
Daughter?
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
He's going to love
Very
it when we talk about it in a second. But what I want to know is, so what made you go from I'm a writer, producer, actress, and now I'm going to direct?
Well, I definitely have a lot of slashes in my name, that is for sure. I started as actor, then I added producer, and then I added writer, and then I've recently added director. For me, I just love creating movies in whatever capacity that is, whether I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera or behind the computer. And so if I can get a vision across in some way to an audience and make an impact in someone's day in some form, then I will do that in whatever capacity I can.
So is your directorial debut, when is it going to be available for people to see?
Well, it's currently doing the festival route. It'll be at Holly Shorts on the 17th of August at 2:30 p.m. at the TCL Theatres in Hollywood. And once it's done its festival route, which are a couple of others this year, I'm going to make it available for everyone to watch. Because as we'll mention, the person that it's about is a very special person who I want everyone to learn more about.
Okay, so this is the part that Ron is going to like. So first of all, Ron is a big fan of the golden age of Hollywood.
I am the golden age.
He had a show called Set the Record Straight back in the day where he interviewed all the legends of Hollywood. One of them is the star of your documentary. And he was best friends with Jane Russell. So he knows them all. So Isabella did a movie with the famous star, and afterwards she made a documentary about her. And the name of the movie is The Story of Terry Moore, the last living legend of Hollywood, of which Ron is friends with Terry Moore.
Oh, she's
Terry,
the best.
Terry is lovely. I love Terry.
Isn't she wonderful? She is one of the best people I know.
She was Jane Russell's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I was part of that whole circle. It was Esther Williams, Terry Moore, Jane Russell, Rhonda Fleming, Beryl Davis. That was the gang of all the old broads I hung out with. And I loved every one of them. Terry is like 98, 90, almost 100.
She's 95 now. She's 95.
And she lives in Santa Monica on the water. And she walks every day 2 miles.
I don't know if she still does that.
I'm sure she does.
We've never had her on the show, but we had her son on. Yeah. And then while he was on, he called her so we could talk to her.
Right.
Oh,
and
we saw her at a movie premiere not too long ago.
And I saw Terry not long ago, and we hugged and kissed. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, business, people think because we make a movie with somebody we're their best friend and we hang out. We don't. We work together and then we have lives. We get involved. We're busy. We don't have time to see each other until possibly another film. I love Terry. I'm going to make it a point to go visit her on the water and just to give her a big hug. She is one of the nicest, most honest movie stars I know. And her assistant is a doll. I love her. I forgot her name, but I love her.
Marlene at the time. Did you know Marlene?
I don't know if that's the same one, but she had one that was Glenn Ford. That was Glenn Ford's assistant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Terry Moore was married to Howard Hughes, by the way, folks. And
so wait a sec, go back to Isabella. So how did you decide, all right, because you look young, I don't know how old you are. I mean, you look like you're like 15 or something. So
I wish you would have called me for that documentary because I could have given you such insight on Terry Moore.
Hang on, wait. Well, she got it from Terry herself. Terry's in the documentary.
No, I know that, but usually they have friends talk about the person.
We're going to find out in a minute. So how old are you, first of all? You can't be like, what are you, 20?
I am nearly 22.
Okay, so this is this is like, because it's so out of your norm of what you would be. Like, how would you be?
How did you find Terry Moore?
She did a movie with her first.
You did a movie with her?
Yeah, I saw it.
I did a movie with Terry in 2019 based on the story that is my life, essentially, about a friend of mine who I had who was 100, and that friend passed away in 2018. So I decided to make a movie about my friendship with this 100-year-old, and we connected with Terry to play the character of my best friend, and we very quickly became best friends because I apparently seem to have a thing for people who are in their 90s. Seems to be friends.
She's an old soul. But hold on, let me just say, when we approached Terry, but your friend was 100 and Terry was only like 88, and she said, "Don't worry, I can play a 100-year-old lady." I know.
I'm 84 years old, so I've been around for a long time. I'm in the business 65 years, and I knew all the legends growing up in Hollywood. And Terry is just. I did an interview with Terry, which you can see on YouTube, folks, if you're interested. And it's a very loving interview, a lot of hugging and kissing and friendship. I like those sort of interviews.
Well, and that's what she's about. She's about that.
And that's why we sat there and we spoke for about 5 hours. And yes, I condensed it down to a 20-minute short. But my goal is to use more of the footage and turn it into a feature and then to be able to interview the people in her life, like yourself, like Robert Wagner, Leonardo DiCaprio, John Travolta's
Gloria.
up there, Gloria Steinem. I mean, there's so many wonderful people that are in her life that I would love to include in the feature documentary. So the short is really just a teaser that is Terry, some beautiful archival footage and photos that really expresses how Terry wants to be known in her life from her perspective. So it's a nice little teaser for the eventual feature.
I love it. So here's what I want.
Terry Moore was never a leading lady star. Never. Her movies were weak. She always played a good part. She was in Peyton Place, which was a very good performance that she did, if you've seen the movie Peyton Place. She was also in Mighty Joe Young as a young girl with opposite a gorilla, which was a lovely movie. And I remember seeing it when I was a young fella. And I fell in love with Terry Moore, as all the teenage guys did, because she was this adorable little blonde cutie pie. But Terry Moore never had the status that Joan Crawford or Betty Davis had. She never was up there, but she was up there with the good character actresses and a good actor. She was good.
She still
Very
is.
pretty, very
Still
pretty.
is. Hasn't lost it.
I love it. So what I
Did
want
she
to
talk to you about her relationship with Cary Grant?
Yes, she's told me so many stories, lots that are in the footage that is used, some that isn't, and then some stories that were off the record as well.
That Cary Grant said to her, I don't know why people say I'm gay, I'm not, when in fact he was gay and he was lovers with Randolph Scott. But I never argued the point with Terry because I didn't want to upset her. After all, she named her son Grant after Cary Grant.
And we had a blast with Grant on our show. You know, he's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm sure you know that, but like I'm a big horror movie fan, so that's like a movie. So wait a second. So what I want you to do, Juan, let's get together the story of Terry Moore, the last living legend of Hollywood. You guys, the trailer's only like a minute long. It's really short. Isabella, just introduce it, and then after you introduce it, Juan's gonna play it so everybody sees it. You just hang on, and then we'll be right back.
Sounds good. So the story of Terry Moore, the last living legend of Hollywood. She's a wonderful woman, and I can't wait for everyone to hear her story.
Yay!
Hello, Terry.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great today.
So where you are in your career now, you have done so much and you've changed so many lives. What do you want to leave behind in this world?
I can't wait. I think it's super awesome. I have to tell you, before I met Ron, I never had seen any Turner Classic movies. I hadn't seen any of them. Now I've seen all of them because that's basically what we watch since it's the best, TV that there is really. So now I've seen everything, but I think it's really, really cool. And I met Terry at a premiere that we were at a couple years ago. And she was fabulous, and Ron had talked about her often. So I think the fact that you're 22 years old and you're doing that, and I love what I just saw in there, mother-daughter entertainment. What a great, that is so cool. Like, I never got along with my family enough that I would ever do something like that with them. I couldn't even stand to be in the house.
I want to do a quick Terry Moore story. Jane Russell and I were very close. We did everything together. We were like brother and sister. I took her name, Russell, when I was young. That's how much I loved Jane. And I loved her knowing her. When Jane passed away, I was devastated because I was the last one to see Jane. She was in my house. I put her on an airplane. And Jane and I never exchanged I love yous because we didn't like that Hollywood bullshit where everybody's I love you, I love you. So we avoided that. For some reason, I don't know what prompted me to say to her as I held her, I said, Russell, I really love you. And she held me back and looked at me and said, Russell, I really love you too. She got on the airplane. I never saw her again. She passed away. Now I called Terry Moore. I said, Terry, I'm coming in for Jane's funeral. What's going on? She said, Ron, you can't come in for the funeral. I said, why? She said, because Jane's son does not want anybody from Hollywood to attend the funeral. Well, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm Italian. I let loose with every curse word I knew. I thought Terry Moore was going to drop dead on the other end of the phone. There wasn't a word or a curse that I could think of not to you. Ask Terry about that. She'll remember that. And she just said, Ron, what could we do? I said, you mean to tell me we are not allowed to go to the funeral? She said, no, we are not. And none of us went.
Oh.
So Esther Williams' husband called me and he said, Ron, whatever you do not mention to Esther that Jane passed away, because Esther's losing her mind and she can't deal with death. And if Jane is gone, she'll flip out. So I was under such stress. Don't tell Esther. And then blah, blah, blah. So I called Arlene Dahl and I spoke with Arlene, and Arlene said, what are we going to do? I said, well, we can't go to the funeral. And I'm devastated because she was my best friend, my love. Anyway, it was a terrible time for all. France Nguyen, the actress, couldn't go. None of us could go.
Oh,
Terry,
that's very sad.
spoke to Terry about that. I wish that was in the documentary, how nobody was allowed to go to Jane Russell's funeral that was involved with Hollywood.
Well,
Her
I think
son-
we'll use that.
Yeah.
Remember that, because when Isabella does the feature, well, absolutely.
her children were very against her being in Hollywood. They wanted a big fat mother home making apple pie. They didn't want a mother famous for her tits. They didn't want that mother, especially how Jane was an alcoholic for so many years. She drank beyond belief. At 80, she became sober. Can you
It's
believe
amazing
that?
to know what they all did. I mean, Terry was on the front cover of Playboy.
At 65. At 65, she was the front cover of Playboy.
That's
Oh, I
my
know,
aim of the
I know.
game.
Yeah. Terry's like me. She refuses to get old or die. You know, we just think it's ridiculous getting old, and dying is even more ridiculous. We're going to work until we croak. And I know Terry would. If I offered her a part tomorrow, she's there.
I love it. So I want to go a little bit. So you guys have done a bunch of films together. You've actually did a movie that I've actually seen, and we've had a bunch of the people on our show. You did a movie called Hunt Club. And Hunt Club, it was directed by Elizabeth and produced by Isabella. Did you also write it? Did one of you guys write it or no?
No, we did not write
Did
this
you
one.
do a lot of?
I did a lot of development on it as
Yeah.
much as I was able to do, but I wasn't the one doing the typey.
No.
Mina Suvari, Casper Van Dien, Mickey Rourke, Jed Rowan, who was in all of Marcel Waltz's movies. That's how we know him. When Ron was talking about Marcel Waltz earlier.
Right.
Jeremy and Jason London, we had one of them on. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, they're the same.
And it's a good movie, though. It's a really good movie. Like, I like horror movies and those kinds of movies, so it was a really good movie. And I enjoyed it a lot. And then I noticed that you did 2 movies with Matt Rife.
We
No,
love
Matt,
that.
he was probably like not that big a deal then. Now he's like the biggest deal on the planet.
Totally, 100%. I mean, he was getting into his comedy. He'd done a few shows, but he definitely wasn't the Matt Rife that we all know and love today. And so I have this ongoing joke with him now whenever we're on set that this was now, everyone knows who he is now, but before everyone knew who he was, I would try and describe him to the people who didn't know him. So I started with jokes about his jawline. Then I made jokes about him being a teen heartthrob. There was definitely a variety in there. So we definitely became very close on our project.
And we literally
But Blake,
They're both Blakes. They're Elizabeth Blake and Isabella Blake. So this is Elizabeth and this is Isabella.
Oh, that doesn't have it there.
I know, it just has
It
Elizabeth
has
Blake.
Elizabeth Blake Thomas.
Yeah, I know. That's
Well,
that's her
the-
name.
I thought it was Elizabeth and Blake, and Thomas was their last name.
No, they're both
I'll
Blake.
be Blake.
I'm sorry
I
about
want
the
to be
villain.
Blake Lively.
Don't,
so-
don't confuse him. Don't confuse him. You're Isabella.
I'm
Otherwise, if you say
sorry
Blake,
about
he
the
will
billing.
do that.
Anyway, you know what the word Isabella means.
I don't actually.
You are beautiful.
Yeah, you
Isa e Bella. Bella is. See,
Yeah.
years ago in Italian, they used idu e essa. They stopped that. They got rid of that. Grammatically, it wasn't correct. So back then, Isa se bella. Isabella, you are beautiful. And you are beautiful. Now, when the guys come on the set and they hit on you, what do you do?
Well, fortunately, because of the way Hollywood is progressing, I've definitely had to deal with that less in the most recent few years.
Yes.
But unfortunately, sometimes it slips through the cracks. And I've just had to learn to be able to stand up for myself and say, hey, we're working together. Let's maybe keep it professional. So I'm very fortunate to have had someone to teach me how to do that.
So
So wait a minute. If I'm young, now I'm 25, I'm built like a goddess,
maybe she likes
a
skinny guys.
god, and I'm handsome, okay? And I'm
Okay.
on your set, and I say, Isabella, I think you're so beautiful. I would like to get to know you better. Would you have dinner with me tonight? What would you do?
I would say I appreciate the compliment because being called beautiful seems to be few and far between these days. There are definitely other words that this generation seems to choose to use. But I would actually say I'm taken. I have a wonderful boyfriend of 3 years. And we are best friends and we have a fantastic relationship.
Oh, good for you. I love it.
But isn't it said that the word beautiful cannot be applied to a woman? I'm sure your mother wants to be called beautiful because she is.
Sure, I thank you. I say it to myself every morning, even if anyone else does. I look in the mirror and I say, oh, Isabella, what is it like having such a beautiful mother?
You have the same mirror I do.
Hand over my heart. She says this every morning.
But you know, talking about the horrors and Matt Rife and everything, we just did our last feature together, which was a YA thriller, so young adult, called Karma. That had Matt Rife in as well, so he came in for the day.
I thought it was Karma's a bitch. It's not Karma's a bitch. I thought it was Karma's a bitch.
We're not allowed to. So
We can't use the B word. The algorithms don't like it.
Let's
Oh.
change it.
Okay. So Karma, mystery romance thriller. Elizabeth is directing it. Isabella
right.
wrote it. Tony Todd's been on the show.
Tony Todd is a good guy.
I'm actually getting ready to start a project with Kelly Price. How is he to work with? He's supposed to be great.
We
Everybody
love
says he's
Kelly.
great.
He's so nice.
Kelly's like my big brother. I keep forgetting he's married and has a child because in my head he's just my big brother. But he's such a sweetheart. He is one of the really lovely guys to work with.
Oh, I'm happy to hear it. Then Natasha Henstridge is in it. Matt Rife is in it. I think it's based on a book.
It's not actually. I'm honored that it sounds like it is, but it's an idea that we created years and years and years ago, and it took this long to kind of create the story that you see on screen today. But the people that kind of helped me tell this story, on top of myself, like you said, the names you mentioned, but also some incredible actors that I'm very good friends with and very fortunate to call my friends, like Matt Cornett, Pierce Josa, Terry Hu, Notland Taylor, Pedro Enrique, Abby Georgiana, Elise Luthman. In the group.
And they're all the
Anyone
kind of
else
the
in it?
High School Musical lot, the zombies lot.
Yeah.
So it's fun that she could put a project together, bring her friends into it, and then I got to direct them all, and it was an absolute treat to direct them.
It was a lot of fun. Like genuinely, the project filming it was just every day was fun, and I got to drive a Mustang.
She's like Chatty Cathy, your daughter. I love her. She's cute. She's so sweet.
Now, is your boyfriend in
Wait
the
a minute,
movie
I'm
industry?
speaking.
Oh,
You always do that. I'm going to punch you right in the face and knock you out cold. You never know what hit you. Whenever I'm talking, he has to interrupt me. I want to belt him right in the mouth. He's my husband. I'm allowed to do it. We're married. So married people can.
all right.
fight.
Go ahead and finish your
Shut
question.
The fuck up.
STFU.
Yes.
Now the boss speaks. I forgot what I was going to say, you son of a bitch.
So ask her, is your boyfriend also in movies?
I forgot what I was going
He's not an actor, but he is in film. His entire family is a film family too. The
Right.
Rivetti family is a very well-known name in the camera department. So
Good
he's
for
definitely
you.
a long line of filmmakers.
I love it.
So, mother, is there a father?
No, I was produced by The Stork. We don't talk about this. It's embarrassing. La 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 la.
Yes, there is a father. He's in the UK, but we've been here obviously for 11 years now. And I will say, I'm sure he's a fabulous person back in the UK. Sean has been the one that taught Isabella to drive. And what else has he taught you?
Hang on, he doesn't. Wait, he won't because he forgets people's names. So Sean McNamara was the director we had on about a month ago, who did the Reagan film, and that's her boyfriend.
Oh, no
The
shit.
big director. Yes.
Oh, I like him.
Good.
Oh,
We have
you know what? We almost got into a fist fight on the air. It was wonderful.
I heard all about it.
You heard all about it.
I hear everything. I just spoke to him. before I came on.
Only because, listen, I knew Elizabeth Taylor, not to brag about her name, but I brought it up with Elizabeth one time. She threw it on the floor. She didn't want to talk about it. I said to her, you know, Liz, if it wasn't for you, Reagan, we could have waited for to mention AIDS, we'd all be dead today. And she didn't give me a yes or a no. I don't think she wanted to go there. But Reagan never mentioned AIDS, and he knew all about it.
I know there's a lot of political issues with this film coming up.
Well, I said to your guy, I hope in your film you brought out the point that Reagan did nothing for the gay community as far as AIDS went. And he was defending the film. And I said, listen, this has nothing to do with the film. This is a fact, a historical fact. Elizabeth Taylor announced this once publicly, just once at a white party. She said, and Reagan ignores it completely.
Also, though,
so it's factual that we all know that Ronald Reagan never used the word AIDS.
But we also established during Sean's interview, because he's such a brilliant director.
I loved him. I loved him.
He didn't write the film; he just directed it.
Right.
So what's in the film has nothing to do with what's in the film.
But
and we
it's
established that, so it's not his fault if it doesn't mention it.
Exactly. And even in the edit, in all honesty, even when we direct things, we don't know what's going to be put in the edit.
Right.
What I liked about your boyfriend is we have a lot of ass kissers that come on this show, and I could puke from them. They agree with everything. They don't want to get controversial. They don't want to get in trouble. I don't know what the fuck they want. But why are you on our show? Our show is not a bullshit show. It's all about the truth. We say what we want. You could say what you want. We get it out there. And your guy stuck up for his movie, and I respected him for that. And I think he's a terrific guy. But if I were you, sweetie, I wouldn't get in arguments with him.
Do you know what? He doesn't do arguments. There's no conflict. It's really wonderful. We have a very interesting relationship where it's just, I think when you get older and you've gone through other things, there's no drama. There's no drama in our relationship. It is helping each other. What do you need? And we have the love of film, which is amazing. He also just thinks I'm pretty incredible, so tells me that all the time.
You are. I'm sure that you actually are. Just from this interview, I can tell.
Listen to me. Outstanding men do not have inferior nothing women as their mates or girlfriends. I have found that outstanding men have outstanding women. Okay? Like Barbara Streisand has James Brolin. She doesn't have Joe Blow from Kokomo, who's a truck driver. You got it?
I've never met him. I should Google it.
So she said, I've never met him. So let's talk real quick because I want to make sure we get the Police Shadrach for everybody. So now you have directed some episodes. Shadrach is on Pure Flix, which means it's like a positive, uplifting, great kind of stuff that the world needs today. The name of the show, tell us a little bit about the show, Shadrach.
Well, firstly, Sean's company produced it. He then directed most of the episodes and got me in, and I was able to direct. Yeah, there's Chai.
He's sleeping.
Sorry, we're distracted. Sorry, Chai wanted to sit with us. She was asking.
We got a fur baby. I'm sorry to interrupt, but dogs are important.
Okay, all good. We can talk about dogs forever, so don't worry. Hi,
Hi, what's her name or his name?
Chai. She's called Chai. She's
Hi,
on
Chai.
a diet, and she's just lost 5 pounds. She's gone from 15 pounds back to 10. So she's doing really well.
But you continue.
Yes. Okay, sorry. So yes. So his company produced it. He then directed a few episodes, got me in. So I directed pieces of some, a full episode where I'm lucky enough that her music that she sings, because she sings and puts music in all our films. She's got 2 songs in my episode as well. But it is a family TV show that's a bit like The Waltons meets Little House on the Prairie, and it was divine to film.
Oh, wait a second. Go back.
Are you a stage mother?
No.
Is that the same as a helicopter mother, would you say?
It's the film.
No, a stage mother is one who never made it as an actress and doesn't.
Oh God, no! Oh no! I am behind the camera. Yeah. No, thank you. No.
So you're not living through your daughter.
No, I can't imagine anything worse than going in
No,
front.
I wasn't implying you were. I just had to ask that
Yeah,
question.
no. Although I did my TED talk, so we can talk about that as well. But she
You're
helped
a
me.
public speaker, but you're not an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
You do my
I,
audition.
I was accused of being a stage father because my daughter Leslie, who is outstandingly beautiful, came in as first runner-up in Miss America, and I was behind her all the way from the beginning with when she became Miss Long Island, Miss New York, Miss every shit, and then I was the guy pushing her. And people thought that I was like a stage father, and I used to resent it. I said, no, I know the business, and I'm giving my daughter shortcuts.
Support. Yeah, you're
Support
supporting.
and shortcuts to getting where she is. I said, it's her beauty that makes her win the pageants, not my pushing, you stupid fucks. So stop saying it.
Actually, too, I want to play Shadrach. I want to play the trailer. So, hey, Juan, get the Shadrach official trailer ready, and then Elizabeth, you introduce it, and we'll play it, and we'll be right back.
Okay, Shadrach, a family-centered TV show that is about love, unity, and overcoming obstacles. And the main actor is a horse.
We can't afford to stay here, and we could get a house near my parents for next to nothing.
I miss my friends. I miss my old life.
Heavenly Lord, we're grateful to be together. Amen.
Amen.
There's no cell service here.
Will you look at that? We got ourselves a fine-looking horse in the yard.
I like animals.
You like videos of animals.
Come on out, kids.
What's Shadrach doing here?
Your papa bought him for you and Michael.
Who's ready to ride a horse?
We are.
I want to go searching for artifacts.
Well, I can't wait to hear what you discover.
The power of faith had just begun to take us places.
Yeah!
And a new life of adventure for all of us.
I love it. I didn't get the first time I watched the trailer. I didn't even register to me that Shadrach is actually the horse.
And I love horses. I happen to love horses. And I think I'm going to like this movie.
TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show? Because I like stories about animals.
Oh, me too. We have 3 amazing films that we're working on where a dog is a lead character in them. And so, I mean, how can you not?
Are you like me? If I'm watching a movie and there's a dog in it and it's a dangerous scene, I turn to Jimmy. I say, if they kill this dog, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. If I knew, I think in the first episode of season 2 of Ted Lasso, someone said a dog died. I never watched season 2. I don't need to watch that. I don't need to
cannot watch
anything.
animals being killed. Any animal.
I couldn't watch John Wick, the first John Wick, because they killed a freaking dog in the first John Wick, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I can't watch that. And I really think Hollywood, in my day, we never showed that. We never showed an animal or an old person being brutalized. We never did. It was against the code. And I think that should be again. Nothing sadder than watching them beating up an old man or an old lady or hurting an animal. To me, that's not entertainment.
And we like our dog more than we like other people.
Also, watching Moore.
Terry.
No, Julianne.
Oh, Julianne Moore. Oh.
Watching Julianne Moore wipe her ass after taking a dump in a movie was not exactly my idea of theater.
Like we feel like we're okay. We are older, but like
no, I'm from a day when we never believed Marilyn Monroe peed.
Oh, I don't want to know that anybody does that.
You understand?
Nobody should.
No,
the Queen never went to the loo. I don't know if
That's
you know
right.
that,
She never went to the loo.
Exactly. And Marilyn Monroe, if you look between her legs, was blank. There was nothing there. Okay,
Barbie,
but she couldn't do anything that a normal woman did. I used to have this conversation with Jane Russell all the time. I would tease Jane, and I would tell her stupid shit. I would say to her, And she'd say to me, "Oh, stop it, Ron." I'd say, "Jane, today, really, would you show your vagina?" She said, "Stop it. Of course I wouldn't." I said, "Would you show your nipples?" She said, "No, of course not. I wouldn't." She'd get like crazy. I said, "Then you wouldn't work in films." "Fine. Then I'd go to the beach and hang out with my kids."
Well, is that the same as when we're Europeans? So we do all sunbathe topless over there. So we're a bit more used to that, I think, than the Americans.
Well, I think the culture is definitely, certain body parts are definitely less sexual in Europe than they are over here. And I think it's
No, Jane Russell couldn't
body
stand.
sculptures.
She couldn't stand any kind of exploitation of a woman's body parts to make a film. I said, "Yeah, you're famous for your 36B bust. That's all Jane Russell was, 36B. She wasn't big." She said, "I know that." She said, "But it was the cleavage. They loved my cleavage." I said, "Well, that was exploiting you." She said, "Yes, it was." I said, "Do you think today, if you were in films, Howard Hughes would be exploiting you?" She said, "Yes, he would. Definitely."
Well, we are in a very different world now. So Isabella got a voiceover job, so she has to leave you in 4 minutes, but not me.
Right.
So if you've got any last questions for her,
she's got a job to do, a voiceover job. So hang on, you guys. So Isabella, you guys follow her on Instagram. She's Isabella_B_T. Make sure that when if you're in LA, go see The Story of Terry Moore, The Last Living Legend of Hollywood, and that's on the 17th at 2:30 at where?
At the TCL Theatres in Hollywood. It's where the Chinese theatre is upstairs.
We might be available.
If we're available, we'd like to attend.
Oh, we would love that.
I'm shooting a movie next week, and I don't know my schedule totally.
We'll find out. I'll find out.
I'll send you her invite anyway when I get off from you guys.
Okay. I would love to see the Terry Moore movie. Will Terry be there?
Potentially. I have to. She's very, very busy, as we know. So I have to make sure that she's available.
Anyway, you are so sweet, so adorable. I want to meet you one day.
So we will meet.
I want to meet.
We will.
I would love that.
We will meet. So
you're absolutely charming. And Mother, you did a lovely job raising
Mother's staying
her.
with us for a minute.
Thank you. I am. Okay, my girl. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now it's all me.
You've done a really wonderful job, though. Your daughter's absolutely adorable.
So not like the kids of today. She's charming, intelligent, well-spoken, ladylike. She's very sweet.
Thank you. Do you know what she genuinely is? It's one of those things that I really worked at it, and we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time together. I homeschooled her. We've traveled together, and we are best friends. So it is. She supports me in everything I do, and I support her. So we're very fortunate.
But I think she has a good role model, and when she looks at you, she knows what to do and say because she wants to be like her mother. You're very charming. You're very sophisticated as well. And I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. If I don't like you, I just don't say anything.
You have a bunch of other films, though. We should just mention.
Not all women that come on our show are pretty. And if they're not, you think I'm going to say to them, "You're pretty," when you're not, so my people can say to me, "Ron, you're full of shit. She was a dog. She was the ugliest thing I ever saw," and you're saying how pretty she is. I mean, how stupid you want to look, right? So you got to tell the truth.
Okay, so
Jimmy, one more time with the interruption. I'm going to rip. I'm going to rip.
We only have her for a few more minutes, and I've got stuff I want to go over.
I talk Brooklyn talk. I'll rip.
No, he does that all the time. No, nobody pays any attention to it. Don't pay any attention to it.
That's why they hire me. Always play mafia, not gangsters, because of my accent.
So, are you a writer then, also? Because I know
I just happen to have my book here.
There we go. Okay, what's it called?
Okay, so this is my third book. This is Living with Intention, and it has lots of really cool exercises for people to do. But I had my first book, Arabella, second book, Filmmaking Without Fear, and then this is my third book.
Good for you. Congratulations.
What is the third book about?
It is about how to live each day with a purpose, whatever that might be, and I help people find that. So this book gives you some exercises to do, and it just helps you live with a little bit more intention, because when we realize how long we've got left on this planet, it can be very quick to kind of like finish your day and think, oh, well, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And I try to make people understand that timeline.
It's very, very different, though, the three different books. Like, one of them sounds like a novel. The second one is about filmmaking. And then this one is about life.
It is. But I think that's okay to do such different things. Like, my films are different. My podcasts are different. My books. The way I live my life is quite different. So it kind of just aligns with that.
I know. I
The
love
writer
it.
writes what they feel inside. So your moods change, so your writing changes.
Exactly.
As far as I'm going to comment on something. I'm 84 years old, and I have very little left in front of me. But I realize now that the bullshit that I went through when I was young was so unnecessary, so wasteful, and I don't want it in this part of my life. So I shortcut myself. If there's an asshole in my way and aggravating me, I don't stop to educate them or change them. I just bypass them and go fuck yourself. Say what you want, do what you want. I don't give a shit.
And it's about not having drama. And you should see my TED Talk. Have you seen that?
No, I didn't even know you did a TED Talk.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Celebrating mortality
Hang
and
on.
take your journey.
What is a TED
A
Talk?
TED Talk is a talk that very important people get to make. How do you explain? I don't even
What's
know how
a
to explain
TED
it. Chuck.
Talk?
He doesn't know what it is.
I never
It's
heard
where
of
the most important people in the world get to go out and make speeches, talking about a specific area of interest or their area of interest. And it's like a big deal. Hardly anybody gets to do it. Like, how did you get a TED Talk? That's awesome.
Well, you have to pitch yourself, and then you have to decide what you're talking about. And then you have to go through a whole process of people, as you say, believing that you are as important as they think you are, and choosing a subject that can have an impact on people's lives. And mine was chosen.
Congratulations.
What was it?
Hers was chosen. Her TED. So what was your TED Talk on? By the way, that's a really big deal. I know how hard it is. I know other people who've had them, but they're like people that are so amazingly accomplished, which you are too. So good. You got
I
it
would
too.
like to do that.
So go ahead. Tell
I have
us
a
what
lot-
was yours about.
I have a lot to say.
It's called How Embracing Mortality Can Help Shape Your Journey. So basically, we're on these different paths, and I used the game of life. I don't know if you ever played this horrendous game, because it takes you on this one path and that's it for children. And so I was explaining all the other paths and how you can do other things in your life. And I've literally changed people's lives. When they've watched it, they've suddenly gone, oh my God, I literally had a letter the other day. I'm moving to LA. I'm not going to stop. So it's having the impact in people.
Is it on YouTube? Where can people see it?
Yeah, type in Elizabeth Blake Thomas TED Talk.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So everybody go on
But
YouTube and watch it.
Isn't it amazing? Something that is so trivia is so important, because what you said really is very unimportant, yet people don't get it. And it becomes important, if you understand what I mean. It's common sense. If you want something, you have to go for it. You have to work hard to get it, and you have to believe in it. And it's an easy math. But yet there are some people who are confused.
Most.
And they don't know, I don't know what to do. So they stand there with their finger up their ass wondering what to do. So your book is going to help. And your
TED
talk and your TED Talk will help.
I hope so.
Well, yeah. Stupid.
How many views do you have?
Stupid people need to be guided.
Well,
that.
it only came on a month ago, and I think I've got about 500. So I'd love to get it to 1,500,000.
Oh, absolutely. I'll share it. You know what? Text me the link and I'll share it in all my socials.
But
because I've got a bunch of social. I've got a big following.
I talk to everybody, no matter where. I'm a New Yorker, and New York people talk to everybody. I talk to people on airplanes, in grocery stores. I just talk to anybody, and most are friendly. Some are not. But the thing I get from most people is they're not swift. People are not really with it. No, really and truly. Many, like I could be online in a supermarket and say, they got to be crazy. $9 for a box of tea. What are they, nuts? It used to be $3. So I'll turn to the person next to me. I'll say, would you believe $9 for this tea when I used to pay $3? And they stand there and they go, yeah. Yeah. Well, where the hell were you? You know, when inflation happened, when things were going up, when everything was tripling, when gasoline was like $18 a gallon or something.
I know.
I know, it's a joke.
Oh.
I'm being facetious.
All right, so hold on, because we've only got a couple minutes. I want to ask
I
you
love
this
her.
question.
No, I wanted to stay.
So here's.
I love you. I really love you. And I don't say that to too many people.
So, okay, so here's a question I like to ask everybody. And since you're a director, it'll change a little bit different. But male and female that you would like to direct, and they could be living or dead, but can't be someone you've already worked with. And then if you could have directed any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have directed?
I'm going to start with the last question. Mary Poppins.
Oh, there you go.
Mary Poppins.
And then, I mean, it's got to be Julie Andrews. It has to be.
Okay. Did you like Princess Diaries? I love Princess Diaries. It was so cute.
Have you ever met Julie Andrews?
No, but this close, obviously. And
Yes.
I should have pushed for it. I will meet her. I will.
Oh, when you do, you'll find her to be the ultimate lady. I mean, she is the epitome of class. Just beautiful. She was so charming when I met her. She couldn't have been more charming if she were my relative. I mean, she gives you that kind of closeness. When you meet her, she will immediately take your heart away.
Okay, so give us a guy. What guy would you like
I
to
love
direct?
her. I love Julie Andrews.
Oh, the guy. I mean,
And while you're thinking, you guys can follow Elizabeth on Instagram. She's just like her daughter. It's at Elizabeth with a Z, ELIZABETH _B_T. So all you do is change Elizabeth for Isabella, and you've got them both. So follow her on Instagram. All right.
I'm going to stick with my theme. I love Dick Van Dyke.
Okay. Wow. Nobody's ever said Dick Van Dyke. But nobody's
I
ever
used to watch
said
all his shows. I think he's a lovely person. Just a good soul.
Yes, good soul. Which you make like movies like that.
I've
too,
never
so.
met him, so I can't discuss him. I've never met Dick Van Dyke.
Do you ever watch Me TV? He's on Sunday nights at 11 o'clock. The Dick Van Dyke show. It's on Sunday nights.
No, but was it Diagnostic Murder that he did?
Oh, Diagnosis Murder. Yeah, that was a good show. I like that better than the
that.
Dick Van Dyke show.
I love
like
that. All the
Now,
classics.
you'll be at your movie premiere, right? The Terry Moore movie.
I'll be at it.
Well,
I'll
then
be there
I'll meet
for
you
Isabella,
there.
supporting her.
I really hope I'm free.
That's a Saturday, right? The 17th?
Yeah, yeah.
It depends. I know, but we're in Nevada Thursday and Friday shooting. So it depends what time we get home.
Yeah, but I'm
Friday.
not working Saturday.
No, but if we get home at like 5 in the morning, you might not want to drive to LA. Just depends.
Why are we getting home at 5 in the morning?
I don't know what time
we'll
you're done.
discuss it after.
Yeah.
that. But I want to go. I will do my very best to be there, and I promise I'll give you a good review also.
Oh,
Because
thank you, because
it's
it is going to the feature.
It's good subject matter.
She worked so hard. My daughter worked so hard, and we're doing so much together. We've got our slate that we're working on for the next year. We just got it funded, so it's really exciting.
You know what you could do? Tell your daughter to go to YouTube and look at the Ron Russell Terry Moore interview. There's a lot of stuff there that we did a lot of good inside shit your daughter might want to use. So tell her to take a look at that interview.
The show is called Set the Record Straight.
It's very
The show
informative.
back then was called
And
Set the Record Straight.
Terry was 20 years younger.
Oh, I will tell her.
I got a lot of stuff out of Terry in that interview.
I love it. All right, everybody. So this is Elizabeth Blake Thomas. We had Isabella Blake Thomas. Please check out Shadrach.
Okay,
on
last time.
PureFlix.
What do you want to plug? Give us the book.
Oh, give us the book.
There it
again.
is. Living with Intention.
And where do we get it? Where do we get it?
Amazon.
Amazon, you guys.
And
Yeah, it's everywhere.
How much is the paperback?
Yeah. I think it's like $15.99.
Oh, so it's good. It's reasonably priced, folks.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. So check out all the. Is Karma's a Bitch out already? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Zumo and all the platforms. My TED Talk, my book, Shadrach, Holly Shorts, Isabella's music, There's so much. Just
How is
Google
her
us.
music? So where does she play? Does she have music released on like iTunes and stuff?
Yeah, it's all
I
there.
didn't know that. I'm going to
Yeah.
listen to that because I love
Yeah.
that. All right. So thank you so much. We also want to thank
You and your daughter were delightful.
and-
Anytime you want to return, come on back.
and please give our best to
You're
Sean.
so welcome. You're
Give
so
our best to
welcome
Sean.
to
We
come.
want to thank Holly from ICT PR for setting this whole thing up. It's been a pleasure. And sorry we missed last week, but we're so happy you made it this week.
And in my final bullshit statement, which is true, thank you for thinking so much of Terry Moore to make a documentary about her. Because, yes, she is the end of a living legend.
She
really is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
Elizabeth. Bye-bye.
Bye, honey.
Yay!
Bye, sweetie.
Oh, my gosh.
What a nice mom and daughter. Lovely people. Lovely, lovely people.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. So I think that our second guest should be coming on. I haven't gotten any messages. Let's take a quick music break and play Dream Street Smile. Juan, play Dream Street Smile. I'm going to just check and make sure I didn't get any messages. And here it goes.
I think of you when the wind blows south, running down the highway, windows down, still can't believe you're not around.
But you're there in the back of my mind. Now I don't look up at the sky, shake my fist and ask you why no more. It ain't like before.
There were Friday nights and Sunday mornings you were taken without warning. Now we'll never be the same, but every storm runs out of rain. I went numb and I lost feeling. I let time do its healing.
Now I crank it up real loud so you can hear it above the clouds.
It's been a while, but now when I think of you, I think of you, I think of you and smile. So we'll dream on like we did before. I can feel the rain when I hear your name. It takes me back to Friday nights and Sunday mornings. You were taken without warning. Now we'll never be the same, but every storm runs out of rain. I went numb and I lost feeling. I let time do its healing.
Now I crank it up real loud so you can hear it above the clouds.
It's been a while, but now when I think of you, I think of you, I think of you and smile. So can you hear the music playing, my old friend? We'll feel the magic when we meet again. There were Friday nights and Sunday mornings. You were taken without warning. Now we'll never be the same, but every storm runs out of rain. I went numb and I lost feeling. I let time do its healing.
Now I crank it up real loud so you can hear it above the clouds.
It's been a while, but now when I think of you, I think of you, I think of you and smile.
Hey ho, everybody. All right. So that was Dream Street from a couple of weeks ago when we had them on. And now our next guest is here, so we're ready to go. Let's let her in, Juan.
Let her in. Let her blow.
Hey!
Look at her. My God, she looks like a sexy 1942 movie star. You do. That hairdo is so Lauren Bacall.
Lauren
You know who-
Bacall, one of the greats.
Do you know who?
Oh my gosh, you're Australian also, or British? Where are you from?
I'm from the UK, British.
Oh, our last two guests were from the UK too, and they were at your premiere last night.
I know, it was amazing. It was such a great night. It was such a great night. Incredible.
So hold on, let me do a real introduction. All right, everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actress, writer, producer, and now action movie star, Charlotte Kirk. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
for being
And
here.
what a pleasure to see a glamorous woman again. They are no longer existing. Women today look weird with tattoos on their face and spears and purple hair. Here you are, a sexy, glamorous 1945 looking movie star. What a pleasure. What a thrill. What a treat for me.
I should be really, I feel like I should have been born in the 50s or the 60s.
No, I love the hairdo. Don't ever change it. It's so becoming. It really is stunningly becoming.
So this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Ron Russell.
Hi, hi, hi. I'm Jimmy's better half, his husband.
And then we have a chat room with people in it. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everyone.
And then, so are you on?
Over how glamorous
Are you on a phone? What are you on?
I'm on my phone, yes.
Okay, just make it so we don't want to cut off the top of your head. We're losing a little bit of hair. There we go. That way we want to see the whole beautiful hairdo, so it's fabulous. All right, so congratulations. I think we'll start off right off the bat. Let's talk about Duchess, since that's your big accomplishment. Duchess is a movie. It's coming out Friday, I think, right?
Yes. Yes, and we had the premiere last night. It's coming out Friday. I'm so excited about it. It was my pet project. It was my baby for a long time. You know, I co-wrote it with Neil Marshall, the director. We co-wrote it in 2018, shot it in 2022. So it's pretty exhilarating that, you know, to see it on the big screen last night with a great audience. It was so much.
Charlotte, could you raise your volume?
Does your volume up all the way on your phone?
Yes, now it is.
Okay, that's better. That's a little better. Okay, so you guys, Duchess, first of all, you will. So I have to tell him, he doesn't really remember names of all the different younger people. He knows all the movie stars like Marilyn Monroe and stuff. So you remember when we watched the Jennifer Lawrence TV show where she was a like she had the prostitute ring, like she had the massage parlor that was and the guy that was in there that you liked so much. Okay, well, that guy's one of the stars of her movie, Colin Egglesfield.
He's a handsome guy.
Along with Cole Meany, who is one of my favorite actors, Sean Pertwee, who's a really awesome, I was just watching Dog Soldiers, Stephanie Beacham, Philip Winchester, so you have a great cast. The movie follows a tough working class petty criminal who morphs into an anti-heroine to be reckoned with in a murky underworld in the treacherous world of diamond smuggling, starring you, and also written by you and the director.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
so now I'm going to ask you a very, very direct question.
Uh-huh.
How did you get financed? What kind of magic do you have?
Well, you know, I'm a force to be reckoned with. I when I see a project and I put my heart and soul into it, I just make sure, come what may, it happens. You know, this was financed through equity and tax credit, purely tax credit and equity. We didn't do any pre-sales on this.
Where did you shoot the film?
We shot it in Tenerife. That's one of the Canary Islands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Neil, the director, wanted to wanted to be very glamorous, very beautiful. The locations, he wanted it to feel big and grand, like you're watching a Bond movie. And it gave
That's what I was just going to say. Sounds like a Bond movie.
Yes.
I love those kind of movies.
Do you live here? Where do you actually live? Do you still live in England or do you live here?
Right now, I'm here.
Right now, you're here.
I'm here between here and the UK.
Which you guys, after we talk about this, we'll talk about some of the other movies she's been in because she's worked with some huge people and a bunch of people who've been on our show before in the past. But what I did is I took the trailer off of YouTube. I want everybody to get to kind of see it. That way they'll know. But real So when it comes out Friday, what platforms is it coming out on? Do you know?
So yeah, so on you can actually pre-order it now on Apple TV and Amazon, iTunes, all the usual suspects in the US, but it's going theatrical everywhere else. So it's going into cinemas in the UK. And
oh wow, good for you!
I have news for you. We're going to watch it tonight.
No, it's not out until Friday.
Oh, we'll watch it.
Okay, you can watch it.
We'll watch it. I'm not lying to you. I'm being honest. I will watch it. Because no, I love those kind of movies. They're my kind of movie.
You know what?
And I want to see your work. Are you as glamorous as you are now in it?
Yeah, I'm pretty glamorous. I mean,
I love it.
Like, it starts off like a My Fair Lady kind of vibe. It's girl in a small fish tank world, and then she falls in love with this big criminal cartel guy. And I don't want to give any spoilers away. Something happens, and she ends up having to take control.
Okay, hold. I don't want to know anymore. Stop.
Wait a second.
I want to see it. I don't want to know about it.
So hang on. Let me tell our engineer. So Juan, we're going to play the one that says Duchess official trailer. So what I want you to do, Charlotte, is you introduce it, and then you just hang on. We're going to play it for everybody, and then we'll be right back.
Awesome. Okay. Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. You're about to see the official trailer for Duchess.
Come here. Whatever happens, I got you. I never meant to put you in any danger. Someone stabbed me in the back. It's gonna be okay.
To really understand where this all started, we have to go back a bit. So this is me. Name's Scarlett.
You got some nice moves.
That's Rog McNaughton, the future love of my life.
Welcome to your new home.
You must be Scarlett.
Scarlett.
Welcome.
Tell me who you really are.
I deal in diamonds. Diamond trade is dirty and corrupt.
That's when I saw the real Rog. The man who killed for me. I'm gonna kill all the men that betray me.
They will eat you alive.
Do your worst.
It's not enough to be as good as a man. You have to be twice as ruthless. And 10 times a bitch.
Oi.
Nicely done, Duchess. Duchess. She handled that with grace.
Real power can never be given. It has to be taken.
You've got some balls on you, princess.
It's Duchess.
That looks so good.
You are one of the sexiest women I have seen in a long time, and you're not trashy looking. You're not like a porno sexy. You're like a classy sexy.
Like a pinup girl.
Listen to me.
Like a pinup girl. You're right. Like a pinup girl. He loves that.
No, I'm crazy about your whole image. If you keep this image, you're going to be a superstar. Because you know who did this? Charlize Theron did this with the 1940 approach, as well as the tall one, the African, the blonde, the very tall girl, the actress. Oh, she's famous, very super famous actress, very tall. I met her; she's huge. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to watch this film. It looks good.
You did an excellent job. The trailer looks excellent.
So you're very good at kickboxing and all that shit. You had to really work.
Box and all of that stuff.
Now I know you've been in some other fight movies. Did you learn how to do the fight stuff previously, or basically you learned a lot of it this time?
No, so I had to learn to box in this film. I'd never boxed before in my life. I mean, in my previous films, I had to learn. I had to learn to sword fight. I had to learn to horse ride. That was my film, The Reckoning, which is like a period horror drama. Then the film after that, I had to learn how to fire guns. I'd never shot a gun before in my life.
I noticed in the trailer that I didn't notice the first time that your director is the same director from Dog Soldiers. which is a great film. I just watched it the other day because I'm actually working on a werewolf movie now. And
so, Charlotte, tell me, how come you couldn't get an American release? The United States
theaters.
In theaters.
You know, I spoke to my publicist about it, and he said British gangster movies are tough. You know, like look at Layer Cake. It was phenomenal. It was a massive success. It took time for it to kind of blow up and become, you know, what it is today. I think because it's British, that makes it slightly harder.
I think so too. Because the gentleman didn't do it, you know, as good as it should have done.
Jimmy said to me, if you have $1 million, you can get an American release because that's what you have to have. I think that's nonsense. I think it should be outlawed. That's called, years ago, there was a law against that. It was called...
It's not really pay for play. It's just what you got to do it.
Well, yeah. Well, so in other words, if you put up $1 million, they would put your film in this country.
Well, you pay for it to get it in the theaters.
You pay for it to get it in theaters, which I think is horrible. That should not be, because a good film is for everybody's pleasure and enjoyment. And to deny the public that, I think, is very criminal.
Considering all the terrible movies that are actually out, this one actually looks really, really good.
Well, because of her, did you see her body? You know, and Charlotte, I'm gay, so I'm not hitting on you. You know? It's not like I'm some horny old 84-year-old straight guy looking to get laid. I mean, no. I'm crazy about you already. You remind me of a paper doll, a cutout. You just have something about you that's, you know.
Ron likes the glamour. You do like the glamour.
Yes.
His best friend was Jane Russell, the movie star Jane Russell.
Who wore her hair like that.
Who wore hair like that. You know, and your accent is very, very sexy.
I think that we need to have women again, not these weird things out there, these dykey looking broads with purple and disgusting. We need to have women where we could look at their beautiful curves and their lovely hair and their beautiful face. You, my dear, the men are going to go crazy for you.
I think it's fantastic. So what took...
You know who you look like? What's the name? I'm 84 years old. My mind's gone. The one that he used to beat her up all the time. The guy I hate from Long Island. The actor I don't like from Long Island. The one that shot the director. Kim Basinger. You look like Kim Basinger.
Oh my God. Well, you know, after this film, me and the director, Neil Marshall, did another film, which is an erotic thriller. I thought of that because 9.5 weeks. And that's very, very cool. Very, very different. I'm kind of the antagonist in that. But I'm very, very excited about that. That's, again, great director, Neil Marshall. We co-wrote that. And that's something we shot after Duchess that's coming out next year as well, called Compulsion.
You have a lot of films that we've had people from so you worked with Colin Egglesfield a couple of times. I was asking about the fight stuff because you did a movie Fight or Flight with Michael Jai White and Dolph Lundgren. You know, those are like big action, you know, star people, really big. I mean, it doesn't really get much bigger. Michael Jai White is probably next to Jason Statham, probably like the next biggest, you know, karate guy. And
have you ever met Jason Statham?
Never met him, actually. You know, I just finished shooting Fight or Flight. It was incredible to work with Dolph. And I mean,
well, if ever you meet him, kiss him for me.
You know, unfortunately, I already did. I played his wife.
So this kisses from Ron.
No, he wants
Russell.
Jason Statham. He doesn't really watch action movies all that much, but he very much.
I love Jason Statham when he kills 20 people in a room. I love it all by himself, and he beats them to death. I love it. I enjoy his work so much because he doesn't act. It's like he doesn't like acting. It's like, I hate being here. Why am I here? Let me do this shit and get it over with so I can go home.
I think that with Duchess, because it's very similar, it does have that British feel. I love that. Hang on, wait, I'm talking. I like those flashback. I like the flashback part where it starts out showing you all the stuff and then flashbacks, and it has a kind of like a bullet train, or I don't know. It has like kind of like a lot of those British really cool film vibe of it, though.
You know what? Someone compared it. Yeah, actually, the editor said if Tarantino and Guy Ritchie had a love child, this would be it.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Being from the UK, have you ever met Michelle Dockery?
You know what? I haven't, no, and I love her. I think she's
I love her more than you.
That's his favorite. That's his favorite young actress.
I watch her work. You know, I'm in the business 64 years, so I know acting from bullshit, okay? When I watch her work, I watch the purest of acting, the most fabulous, natural actress, beautiful. I adore her.
You ever see her TV show on TNT? She had a TV show. What was it called? Disturbing something behavior. Good behavior.
Good behavior. She played a prostitute, drug addict, murderess, no good for nothing, everything rotten human being.
Hooker.
And she was brilliant.
It only was on 2 seasons, but you should watch it because
I would learn.
You would love it. First of all, it would be a part you could have also played.
Yes.
And you know, and you're probably like, I think that your British accent and your looks and your style are going to help you break out from the pack from all the other, you know, people that are trying to do it. Because I think you got a lot going on for you, actually.
Listen, I was in a fabric store in Manhattan 50, 60 years ago, and there was this little short, fat girl in there, and I began talking to her, and her name was Bernadette Peters. You know who she is, the Broadway star, Bernadette Peters.
She's young.
And I said, "Oh, you're an actress." I said, "I'm an actor." She said, "Yes, I'm in an off Broadway musical called whatever it was, Chips Ahoy or something." And I looked at her and I said, "You're going to be a great star." I don't know why I'm saying it, but my gypsy gut soul tells me you're going to be and she said, "Thank you." Well, I met Bernadette years and years later in a movie theater watching Blackbeard with Richard Burton. I met her in the lobby and I said, "Hi, you don't remember me in the book?" She said, "Oh, I certainly do remember you." She said, "Yes, I do." She said, "And your prediction came to be true." I said, "Yes, you're Bernadette Peters." And I say the same thing about you. I got a gut feeling that you're going to be up there with Charlize Theron and the other one. The other tall blonde that I can't think of her name. My daughter met her. She's that tall, the one that had a nose on. I don't like
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. That's the other one.
Absolutely. No,
You're on the Nicole Kidman type. You're that tall, blonde, sexy thing. No, you have a look.
I really do. You don't look like everybody else, and don't get the tattoos all over your body and stuff.
Keep this look. Please keep this look. I'm not lying to you. This look is going to go far because you know why? Everyone that I know, I used to do college lectures to kids, and I would talk about the golden age of Hollywood stars and films, what made Rita Hayworth, Hedy Lamarr, you know, Jane Russell. And I said it was glamour. Glamour has been since the beginning of time. Marie Antoinette was glamour. So glamour will live forever. Glamour doesn't get old.
That's the sad thing about Hollywood today. It's gone. The golden age, the movie stars, the glam is gone, and it's really sad.
No, it's not gone as long as you look like this.
I'll keep it alive.
As long as you maintain this clean cut, Lauren Bacall sort of Elizabeth.
Ron knew Lauren Bacall. He knows Elizabeth Taylor. He knew all of them.
All the women I'm talking about, I've known. Oops. And
one of my favorites, my favorites, I would love to have met them both, would be Liz Taylor and Marlon Brando.
There you go.
I knew Elizabeth. Elizabeth Taylor, I knew well.
And a good friend of ours dated Marlon Brando's son for a long time.
No, my niece was married to him.
And then a good friend of ours dated him. So
yeah, Lorraine Landon.
But he knew Elizabeth Taylor. He had met Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah,
he did some work for the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation.
Everyone thought she was like in person. Was she just amazing?
She was very childlike. I found her not to be swift. I did not find her to be educated or intelligent or a strong woman. I found her to be girly. I think it's because the studios made her a child always.
Yeah.
They kept her as a child or whatever it was, but I liked her. She cursed a lot, which I liked. That made me feel at home. Fuck was her favorite word. And she was just real people. And as far as her beauty goes, I looked for those lavender eyes and I never found them. Okay. I found blue-green.
Blue green,
An
yeah.
interesting color, but not lavender. The makeup that she wore made it lavender.
So,
what about?
As far as she went, she loved the gay boys. I mean, she loved gay men. So I was in that.
Yes, they are.
Like,
I was in right away
hang
with
on,
her. She asked me if I was gay.
Go ahead.
She
Go.
said, Ron, I hope.
Wait, let her go.
Yeah.
No, Richard Burton. I mean,
I've never met him. Never met him.
We just watched a movie he was in though recently because
But
we watch a lot of Turner
Elizabeth
Classic
Taylor
movies.
said, Ron, I hate to ask you this question, but I suspect you're gay. I said, yes, I am. She said, oh, good. Those are her words. Oh, good.
a lot of beautiful women love gay men because they
She
don't.
was very sweet, very little, very chubby, very sweet.
So I have a question for you. Are you looking to be? Are you gonna like? Are more of your upcoming roles action roles? Are you looking to do more action stuff, or are you just looking for anything that's as long as it's a good, strong role?
You know what? A lot of people are saying that I should focus on action because they think I'm great at action, and that's kind of my wheelhouse. But I'm just about to do a drama, you know. I mean, I want to feed my soul a little bit more, so I'm very excited to jump into a drama after this. I've just optioned a New York Times best-selling romantic book. I want to do a romantic piece. So, you know, I'm used to doing very genre-driven, you know, action, horror, sci-fi, which is great. But I want to do. I'm the next couple of projects. I want to do a little bit more, you know, drama, romance base. So
the buzz in Hollywood right now, underground, is comedy. They want comedy strips now because the world is so screwed up. Everybody's so unhappy. We need comedy again. So in the next 5 years, you're going to start to see a lot of comedy, slapstick kind of fun films like we used to have. And you'd be good for that. I could see you playing the Jean Harlow or the Carol Lombard role of the flighty, blonde, funny girl, you know? I think
what? My first movies was that role. It was myself and Stephen Baldwin called No Panic with a Hint of Hysteria. Total slapstick. We shot it in Poland. It's like kind of a cute slapstick Christmas movie. It was very, very fun. It was one of my first roles. It was great.
I think you will be going in that direction. I think you're going to have a hit comedy.
So wait, let me brag for you a little bit.
I predict these things. Sometimes they come.
You guys, here's some of the movies that you could have seen Charlotte in. First Kill with Bruce Willis and Hayden Christensen. Ulysses, A Dark Odyssey with Danny Glover, Udo Kier, and Gianni Capaldi. Ron did a movie with Gianni Capaldi.
Yeah.
And Udo Kier lives here. We live in Palm Springs. He actually lives here. We see him all the time.
Cool.
The Reckoning with Sean Pertwee again, and Bill Fellows. I love Bill Fellows. He's fantastic. The Possession at Gladstone Manor with Kaylee Cowan, Jesse Metcalf, William Mapover. Lynn Shea's been on our show. Barbara Crampton's been on our show. Then you have Vice with Thomas Jane, Bruce Willis. Jonathan Sheck's been on our show a bunch of times. Colin Egglesfield again. Reaper's Night with Christy Swanson's been on our show. Jessica Zohr, Zach Galligan, David Kochner, I don't know how you pronounce it. Miko Hughes and Samarie Armstrong. I mean, these are all like really A-list names. And then I wrote down that you play Nicole Brown's system in the Juice movie, like about O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, that's another one. We shot that a couple of years ago. Half the movie is Nicole and OJ, and the other half of the movie is in flashbacks, and the other half of the movie is an attorney telling their story. So we shot half the movie, and then COVID happened, and the strikes happened, so we haven't quite finished it yet. So I'm hoping that comes out next year.
Oh
was it disturbing to shoot that movie, and did you take it home with you?
Sorry, say that again?
Was it disturbing to shoot that film, and did you take it home with you?
Yes, it was one of the most challenging roles. I felt such a responsibility. I mean, you know, the whole situation and what happened to her and everything. It was very, very tough. Very, very tough. And I did take it home with me. Yeah, I did.
Do you lose your accent? Like, can you lose your accent? Like, I love your accent, but like if you have to, like playing Nicole Brown Simpson, you couldn't have had an accent.
Of course. Well, you know what? When you see Duchess, the opening scene is me doing an American accent in a
Okay.
No, she could have an accent because Nicole has an accent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, Nicole is from Australia or Africa.
No, not Nicole Simpson. The one who got murdered by O.J. Simpson. She's not from Australia.
Oh, I'm thinking of Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, you're thinking of Nicole Kidman.
Oh, no.
Who played the part? Who played the part of O.J.'s wife?
She did.
Oh,
She played O.J.'s wife.
So you had to be killed. That's a horrible thing to do in a movie.
Horrible.
Have you been killed in other movies?
You know, the last few movies that I've done, I've kind of been the badass protagonist killer. But I've had
That's fun, though.
In films.
I can't discuss the movie I start next week, but all I could say is I don't like my ending.
No.
At all.
So you were also in Ocean's 8. That was when you were first starting. How long have you lived here in the United States?
So I moved to LA when I was 19. When I finished drama school, I said
That was 2 years ago.
So like 2 years ago.
Exactly. Of course.
No, Ocean's 8. I mean, just to have it as a credit is a really big credit. Just in general.
right.
I mean, the biggest stars in the world are in that movie, so I think it's a lot of fun. So here's a question I always ask everybody: male and female bucket list of people you haven't worked with yet that you'd like to work with. They could be living or dead, but don't say Elizabeth Taylor since you already said her once. Pick somebody else. And then, if you could have ever been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you like to have been in?
Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
what movie?
Gone with the Wind.
Interesting.
Now, who would you play? Would you play
Scarlett O'Hara, obviously, and
Scarlett O'Hara?
And yet so many other people say Olivia de Havilland. They felt that her role was far more superior than Scarlett. That Scarlett was frivolous and silly, but Olivia was deep and dark and desperate. So which would you prefer to be? Light and airy or deep, dark, and depressing?
Usually deep, dark, and depressing, but that movie had to be Scarlett. I mean, my character name in Duchess is Scarlett. Scarlett.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that why? Is it
Yeah.
based on? Oh my God! Did you hear that?
No.
She said her character name in Duchess, her new movie, is Scarlett, because of Scarlett O'Hara.
Okay.
I love that. I think that's cool. So, have you written a bunch of the other projects that you're actually in, or was this your first that you have?
So the Reckoning, which was my first film that I co-wrote and produced and starred in. Yeah, I was very, very honoured. I'd won 13 awards for that movie. It opened up during COVID and we got a theatrical and it did really well. I'm really proud of that movie. It was kind of my first movie that I had made myself. And then after The Reckoning, we did The Lair, which was a full-on action sci-fi movie. I mean, one of my favourite movies is Alien, Sigourney Weaver. So it's got that vibes about it.
So Lance Henriksen has my lifelong favorite actor. I collect action figures. I have all his action figures. I've met him a bunch of times, and I actually in my collection he makes tiles. Like ceramic tiles of the alien monster. He doesn't sell them or anything, but he gave me one of them as a gift. It's like my most prized possession. But Aliens is like the greatest. I don't know about this new one that's getting ready to come out, but the old Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, they're the best.
You guys, you need to check out The Lair, which was my previous movie. You would like it. It's definitely got that. The Lair. It's on Amazon and iTunes.
Who's in it? Who's in it with you?
So Jamie Bamber, the great Jamie Bamber, Jonathan Howard. It's more, it's not. I would say Jamie Bamber and Jonathan Howard are the biggest names in it, and myself. The rest are just brilliant actors.
Oh, it just came out like a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow.
Okay, so I have to ask this question because the chat room wants to know. Are you in love? Who's your guy? Or have you not a guy?
I am with someone, yes.
But not necessarily a guy.
No. Yes, he is a man.
Okay, we had to clarify that. You want to tell us a little? Is he an actor?
No, he's not. I've been with a few people in the business, and it's kind of refreshing to be with someone who's not in the business.
You know what? Everybody says that. Everybody who's not with someone in the business says that, and I agree.
I'm married to Jimmy, and we're in the business. I hate him.
But you know what, though? Sometimes it works, like you guys.
No. When Jimmy was a fashion designer, he used to design for all the big rock stars. He dressed Elton John, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper. When he did that, it was good. I was the actor. He was the designer. Now that he's a producer, I don't know. I'm in a lot of his movies, and I think people think, oh, Ron stinks as an actor. He's just in the movie because he's married to Jimmy, which is not true.
Yeah, it's not true. He's actually a really good actor.
No, and I'm asked every movie that I'm in that he's producing, he didn't ask me in. Other producers or directors asked me to be in them. So it stinks when you're married to a producer and people think that that's the only reason why you're working.
Until they see you act.
Exactly. That's what happened with Neil, my ex, who's a director, and we did this movie together. It's like, oh, they did that. And it's like, no, like the work speaks for itself.
Yes.
What's the work? That's it.
100%, right.
Well, I have to admit to people, I say, yes, I do get some parts in movies because I sleep with the producer.
Wait, who?
No, I'm joking.
I'm scared apart.
So who was a guy that you said Gone with the Wind? Who are a male and female actor and actress you'd like to work with that you haven't had a chance to work with yet? I'm sure you're going to get a chance to work with whoever you want, and if they're dead, well, you won't get to work with them, but at least we'll know what kind of people you like.
Marlon Brando, #1.
Okay.
Marlon Brando, interesting. Marlon Brando.
And a female?
Female, Meryl Streep.
Everybody
Did you know
sticks
that
her.
Marlon Brando was the most difficult actor to work with? Because when Marlon Brando worked, he didn't know where he was or who was around him. He became so intense with the character that he lost all sense of whatever.
Yeah.
I met Marlon Brando a million years ago. I was a very young boy in Greenwich Village. And that was when Marlon Brando had muscles and was handsome. And he was with gay people. You know, no lie, we know that he was gay.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Marlon Brando was in all the gay bars in New York years ago. He was lovers with Wally Cox. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's out there. I'm not squealing on him. Go to YouTube. There's a million documentaries on it. Yeah. He was bisexual, actually.
He went with both.
But he said that if Wally Cox was a woman, he would have married him. The love of his life was Wally Cox, this unattractive little raunchy actor. Anyway, Marlon Brando was. I vaguely I wish I could get it clear, but all I remember was he was breathtakingly sexy. I mean, back in those days, he was magnificently sexy. That's all I can remember about him.
There's never been an actor before or after him that no one will ever come close. And I mean his talent as well. His talent. He transformed acting. You know,
he became the character. And I think that influenced me because when I work, I become the character. If I can't become the character, I don't want the part.
Yeah.
It's not meant for me. The part's not mine. But if I look in the mirror and I transfer, let me tell you something about myself. I performed in drag as Jane Russell for many, many years. All right. I did it for AIDS, to raise money for AIDS. And I'm 6 foot tall and I'm a man. How I became her was miraculous. But can I have that picture pulled up so she can?
Hey Juan, can you pull it? We only got 2 minutes. You got
pull my picture.
See if you can pull the picture up, Juan.
To become that woman in every way, I had to leave who I was and become. Wow. So I understand how an actor can do that, and Marlon Brando did that. He left his body and became the other.
So real quick, too, you guys, follow Charlotte on Instagram. She's Charlotte Kirk Official. You make sure you check out and watch Duchess. It's coming out Friday.
There I am.
There he is.
Now, can you believe that's me?
It looks like a woman.
Yes, that's him.
So there was a lot of
thanks, Juan.
Hours and hours of transfer. Thank you for the picture, Juan. Pull it. Hours and hours of preparation.
Yeah.
Movie tricks, you know. But I became the character, and I never was a drag queen, so it's not like I thought I was a woman. I was working, you know what I mean? I did it as an act, so it wasn't like I thought I was a broad, because I'm not. Far from it.
In the chat room, Charlotte, too, just so you know, they're also saying they think you look like Kylie Minogue and Kim Wilde, which are both phenomenally gorgeous women.
Oh, she's a beautiful woman.
You got it going on all the way around. Everybody loves you. Stay the way you are.
I think I'm going to be a fan of yours. Seriously, I'm going to watch your career, and you're going to come back on.
I would love to come back on.
And you're going to say to me, Ron, you were right. The comedy I was in is a hit. I'm predicting you are going to be in a comedy, and it's going to be a feature film in theaters, and it's going to be a hit. I don't know what it is, but it's a.
And
I think it's going to be a remake of an old movie.
In the meantime, we're hoping that Duchess blows up. Everybody sees you, and you start getting, cast in all kinds of wonderful things.
And I'm sorry.
You have a wonderful personality. You're very glamorous. Congratulations on all your past success, and we only wish you, more future
And I'm
success.
sorry that we didn't come to your movie premiere.
Oh, I know, guys. The next time, but please watch the film. I think.
Well, we're gonna watch it.
We were very ill, Jimmy and I.
We were just ill, and we were.
He had to
start shooting a Monday. He starts shooting a movie on Tuesday, and we were afraid if we do that long drive and we get sick again, we have a problem. So that's why we didn't come. But keep us posted. You can get in touch with me, and when you have Charles, when you have new movies coming out, let us know, and we'll bring you back.
Amazing.
And we want to thank Charles Sherman,
I think you're sensational. Period.
Likewise, you guys are amazing.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.
Miss Glamour Puss.
All right, everybody. It was a really fun show today, you guys. We had great guests. We want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes, download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.